Georgia Tech has a new 3-star offensive line commit from Rockmart. Yes, he plays from the Yellow Jackets, from the Rock to the Flats. Is Jaiden Thompson. Today we talk about that and much more coming up on the show. Yes, sir. What's going on, y'all? Welcome into the show. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all know what to do. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hype up the video, man, and tell a friend and tell a friend. We're gonna have these videos all throughout. I know it's a big month for Georgia Tech, man. Did a great job closing out May 29th to the 31st OV season. June 5th through the 7th. They got a couple more commitments trickled in here. And they doing the damn thing right now, man. Georgia Tech is hooping. They hooping. They doing their thing, man. They got a big one today. Y'all know earlier, obviously, I broke this one. I already did the film breakdown. So, if you guys want to know more, y'all go check that out. I'll go check that out and go get at a peek, go get at a look. But as y'all can see, I did this one earlier. Let me find it real quick to show you guys. I have to retweet so much stuff. But a big one today, Caleb Spivey. As y'all all know, like I said, I'm not gonna talk too much about this because this one is about Jaiden Thompson. But I want you guys to see, man, Caleb Spivey is a Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, right? And obviously he is coming to the Flats. This was a big one they wanted to land on this week, and pretty much he just wanted to be treated as a priority. And I think they did that. And I broke down his film and gave my thoughts and everything that he was able to do and accomplish. And I think this is a big time get for Georgia Tech. They now have about 5 guys on that defensive line. They might get one more interior defensive lineman, and that'll probably close out the class with 6 for Georgia Tech. We'll see what happens, but there is one they're obviously looking for as well. Okay, so that is the latest there. But the guy that you've just seen is Big JT, right? Big JT, Jaiden Thompson from Rockmart, right? And he's an interesting prospect, right? Because some guys have him 6'4", 290. I seen rivals had 6'5", 315. But he's massive. Now, when we roll this tape, you guys are going to see like he is anchoring the offensive line at the left tackle spot, right? And good footwork, good job with his technique, anchoring down, and great job on the left tackle. Now, he plays smaller ball, right? When you talk about Georgia Rockmart usually plays 2-3-8 ball, things like that. So for him, he's going to be moving. That I think it makes a difference. But he'll be an interior player for Georgia Tech, right? That's just what it's going to be. He's going to be either a center, a guard. Like he's the perfect size and stature for that. 6'3", 315, or even want to go 6'4", 290. Any one of those two, that is perfect for the interior of the offensive line for Georgia Tech, right? And they recently got Jordan Dillon, who I think is about 6'4", 305. So they have a certain look that they're trying to get there. And he's a guy that they really wanted to land. And obviously he's coming down to the Flats, man. Rockmart is all the way up in North Georgia, but he's a pretty good prospect and a pretty good player. And I think for Georgia Tech, you got 2. So I expect them to get about maybe 1 or 2 more guys, probably on the offensive line, probably looking at tackle. Probably 2 tackles, and then I think if you coach Key, you feel pretty good. If I need anything else, I can hit the portal. I can grab a couple guys and do some different things like that, right? So this is a guy, I think he fits the scheme, he fits the system, and I think he's going to help out Georgia Tech a lot, right? Now, the film's not long, right? He has a lot of individual highlights. Alexa, stop. He has a lot of individual highlights, right? And I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. So when you see this film breakdown, this one won't be that much long. Because he doesn't have, usually see about 3-4 minutes of film, but I want you guys to see this tab so you know I'm not bluffing. Okay. So, right, he has basketball, right? Basketball, Like y'all see what I'm saying? Like a whole lot of basketball. Then he finally gets the football right here, right? And obviously this is junior tape. This is what we're going to look at today, but it's only about a minute long. Right, and he has individual highlights for each game, but they're only about 30 seconds, and it's about 1 highlight per, right? So it's not really a whole bunch of film that he has on there. It probably been better if he took this and put into a whole thing, potentially, and made it 2-3 minutes long, but it's not a very long film, okay? So the film breakdown ain't going to be that long, but what we'll do is we'll break down the junior film, give my thoughts on about a minute or so. He got some freshman, sophomore film, but probably not as relevant, what I'm saying, for him because he's gotten bigger, faster, and stronger, and he's really worked on his body. So that's what I said. We'll preface junior film, only about a minute 17, and then we'll talk about what it means for the class and look at where Georgia Tech is currently rated right now on Rivals and if they can get into that top 25 billing potentially. All right, so let's go ahead and break down the film. Only about a minute long, so it won't be a very long one. But let's see what we see. As I told you guys, he anchors the left side of the offensive line. Let's see what we have obviously here on this film. Let me see if you guys can see that. Yes, you can. Perfect. Right, so right here you see against 65, right? Gets a good initial push, and then obviously able to dismantle him right there and get a big time pancake block. This is going to be the same thing, right? But right here he's in pass pro. So this one looks like it was going to be a stunt by the defense, right? Hold on, let me show you guys that one more time. Right, so it looks like, yeah, stunt by the defense. He's going to come in. Now you got to be responsible for this guy. He's going to loop in, but does a good job taking on that stunt and being able to finish off the block and get another big time pancake against pretty good private school program in North Cobb Christian. Okay, so you guys see here, good initial push. Now for here, probably gonna have to work on a little bit of footwork, right? Because here he kind of gets stood up, and then like, see, you want to kind of be able to drive your feet a little bit more, in my humble opinion, and be able to demolish. See, like it takes him a while to kind of get him on the ground, and that's because of the initial push. See, his feet is kind of like he's flat-footed a little bit, so he's depending on the upper body to get the strength, right? Now that's an underrated part. Some might think I'm wrong, some may not think I know what I'm talking about, but for me, I feel like that lower body will be something. Not that it's strong, but I feel like he's relying a little bit more on his upper body strength than compared to his legs and where that girth is at, right? So I think that's something Georgia Tech will probably have to iron out a little bit and work with him on a little bit. That's why he kind of was stood up there, but he was leaning more on his legs and then the upper body and got that fluid motion. I think it'll be a little bit better for him. Same thing here. It's a great block, but you see kind of like how his feet kind of stop moving, right? It's kind of up, stop moving, and then it finally goes down. Like that's the only critique I have at the moment. That one was better, right? See, like that one he leaned a little bit more on his lower body, and then he was able to just drive the dude all the way into the end zone, right? That was much better. He wasn't stood up and stopped in his tracks. He was able to obviously drive that. That was better. Oh, this one I could not see. Okay, let's see. He's right here on his inside. Yeah, that's good. That's a finisher. That's exactly what you want from your offensive lineman. That one right there was a lot better. Same thing, like good big time pancake block, exactly what you want to see. Your offensive line being able to dominate. Should be right here going up against this edge. This is against Bremen. Let's see what we got. Okay, so as you guys can see, another stunt play. So good thing is that he watches his film because he didn't really move too fast. He waited, and then, okay, here's the stunt. He's going to loop in. He's looping out, right? So you see, boom, he's already ready for it, and then is able to stabilize. That's perfect. And I'm going to be real. I like this play. This is good. He stood his ground right here, right? And then he was able to get him completely out of the play. Great pass pro right there. You know what I'm saying? That was excellent. Yeah, that one was a good one too. Let's see. 1, 2, able to kind of push him out the way. Good big time pancake block. That was pretty good. Yeah, same thing here, y'all. So that's a little of my concern is that part right there. So he's kind of flat-footed again, and then he's struggling to move him a little bit, right? But I mean, obviously gets the pancake at the end. I think he does a great job in the pass pro. So with this prospect, for me personally, I like the pass pro that he does. I feel like the run game is going to be some things you have to clean up a little bit for obviously Jaiden Thompson. But I feel like, he has the power, the structure, and something that you can develop, to be a staple interior offensive lineman for years to come. But see, I love the pass pro. You know what I'm saying? I think that's probably the most polished part of this game. See, 1, 2, and then boom, look at him get hands on him, and then like nowhere near the quarterback, no pressure at all, able to stem him, get him down to the ground, and another big time block there. So I think he does really good with that. Like I said, I'm not the biggest proponent or fan of the run game. I think he got some things he got to clean up there. But overall pass pro, I think he has that because he's patient, he waits, you know what I'm saying, and he does what he's supposed to do in terms of not letting them get close to the quarterback. I think sometimes it's a little bit flat-footed, a little bit for my liking, which makes him kind of like rely more on that upper body strength as I alluded to. But I would say smooth pickup for Georgia Tech. I think there's some things they'll obviously have to work on, but I think he should be able to come in there and obviously develop, do what he needs to do, be ready in a couple years to be able to produce and be a guy on this offensive line, in my humble opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm feeling. But as we conclude the show, let's talk real quick about this class. Okay. So 15 commits now for Georgia Tech. Pull this up for you guys. 15 commits now for Georgia Tech, right? And the highest ranking one is Jaiden Thompson, right? And Rivals had a graphic that came out today. Some of the biggest recruitments over the weekend, right? And Jaiden Thompson was on this one. 4-star, consensus, defensive lineman, West Boca Raton. They said this was a massive get for Georgia Tech and the Yellow Jackets, and everything that they want to do is going to help out their program a lot. And I agree, man. 6'3", 305. We broke down the film on the channel, and I think he's going to be a very special player. You compare him with Jess Simpson. Obviously, you're going to have Christian Garrett for another year after this year. You look at Christian Speakman, who's going to be a true freshman, right? And you're building a defensive line that's going to be scary and dangerous for years to come. So having him as your staple guy, I think, does a lot for you and helps you out a lot. Mooney Gibson, probably one of the more underrated running backs. I know he's a 4-star blue chip, like Najeh, underrated. He literally was Kale's offense last year, like the majority of it, right? You had Caleb Narkeezy, obviously you had Nathan Agame, you had other guys, but Mooney Gibson that's who they ran the offense through. That's who they wanted to get the ball to in space. That's who they allowed to run routes as a running back. Like they relied on him heavily. And he answered the bell on the call, got them all the way to the semi. So Mooney Gibson, one of them ones, right? Special, right? Success Nawabude, one of the Rivals MVPs we talked about earlier, right? He's a guy like if you defensive ends coach Kyle Pope, you chopping at the bit, you happy, you excited because this is a guy I can lean on for years to come. This is a guy I can develop and mold into a all ACC caliber player. Yeah, he got that type of a potential. Braden Gordon gives me just athletic, right? He gives me versatility. He gives me he could do any and everything, right? He can guard, he can block. I mean, not block. He can block shed. He can blitz, and in those third down situations, if you need it and you need somebody to go cover, he can do that too, right? So this kid is 6'3", 214, 215. He could do a lot of different things. Don't look at the 190 pounds. It's much bigger than that. I like that kid's game, and he's exactly what you want in terms of physicality at the edge rusher / probably outside linebacker position. And I think he's going to do a lot for this program moving forward. It's going to help them out a whole bunch. Okay, so you got that. Malik Lee was a big time get. Ohio State was recruiting him at one point. So Georgia Tech getting this one. This is going to help them out a lot, getting them up to snuff. And then we talked about MJ Burnett, right? How big that was for them, keeping him in state, right? There was connections to Georgia, there was connections to Alabama with Clinton, how Clinton Dixon his pops, right? So for Georgia Tech, you want to land a legacy, right? And to do that and have Morgan Burnett become the player he became, 10-year NFL vet, to get his son, I think says a lot. And that's going to only help Georgia Tech moving forward with landing legacy players. And that's how you get it done, right? You want the legacy players to come to the flats and to want to play for you, right? So that's going to help them out a lot. You got Jordan Dillon, talk about his tape, 6'4", 305, and you see what he can do, right? He's overpowering people. He's making big time plays. Like the kid is aggressive, he's explosive, do a whole bunch of different things that makes him a next level player and athlete. Then you got Caleb Spivey, 6'2", 230. I think he's a really good player, underrated. Some people gonna feel like he's developmental, but I don't believe so. This kid plays for Benjamin Russell, Alexander City, Alabama. They play some of the top teams in Alabama, and that Benjamin Russell just produces talent, right? When you look from the whole standpoint of right, Cedarian Morgan or Malcolm Simmons, like this is what they do. And Caleb Spivey is one of those ones too that is just next level player and athlete. I've seen him up close and personal. Think he's gonna bring a lot, right? Now Tristan Willis is from Texas, so I haven't seen him up close and personal, but he's another running back that Jimmy Smith really liked and feels like can help him out a whole bunch and a guy that can really produce at a high level. Caden Howard, he gives you that speed, man, right? 10-3, 700-meter dash. Like you talk about a guy you can develop, he's going to be a guy you can develop at a high level and make plays a whole bunch. Brody Campbell, really like him. I think he's a player, he's a gamer. He's a gamer for me. He's a guy that makes all those big plays, makes those big throws, right? And is next level athlete, in my humble opinion. And I think he'll get enough credit for his athleticism and how he can devise and how he can come up in big time spots. Kid is really good. I like Brody Campbell a lot. Julian Elzy, that was a big time flip for them. I think it's going to help him out a whole bunch. Star is going to be the position I think to watch out for him. Him and Vinny Cinceri, that's going to be a problem in the next year or two, right? LZ is explosive. He's one of the ones. Like him a lot, right? Jaiden Thompson, obviously we just talked about him. You know my thoughts. And then Joshua Pettigrew is a mismatch. 6'5", 6'6", big time catch radius, next level in the open field. Tough to stay in front of. Kid's going to bring a lot to this program and team. So right now, Georgia Tech sits at number 27 in the national rankings, number 6 in the ACC, and an 88.12 grade. For Georgia Tech, you're right on the cutting edge of a top 25 class. All you have to do if you're Georgia Tech is land probably about 2 or 3 more blue chip prospects in this class. I don't think you need 25, 30 prospects. If you can get around 21, 22, I think you're set. I think the next 6, and it could be even flips for you in the future, you got to be able to hit on the next prospects. And I think a couple blue chippers in there, and you should be able to get the class that you want if you're head coach Brent Key. But he's never not had better than a top 40 class. Or he's never had worse than a top 40 class in his career. That says a lot in my humble opinion. So big time month for them into May, June, and they've been cooking with fish grease, and they're not done this yet. I know they got their eye on several other prospects, and I expect this team to eventually get them as well. So that's my thoughts, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hype up the video, you know what I'm saying, and tell a friend and tell a friend. That's my thoughts on Jaiden Thompson, and obviously his film breakdown. Again, it was only about a minute of film, so it was really hard to break it all down. He didn't have a whole bunch, but that's my thoughts, man. That's what I think he could bring to the table, man. But appreciate y'all tuning in. I will see you guys in the next one. And remember, it's always peace and love.